Is now a good time to buy in Nova Scotia? I don't think so, and in this month's Nova Scotia Real Estate Report, I will tell you why. Hi there, I'm Don Magee, your neighborhood-friendly realtor in beautiful Nova Scotia. I've been helping buyers and sellers navigate the Nova Scotia real estate market for the past 20 years, so I've seen highs and lows and everything in between. In this report, I'll dive into the latest stats and data for September 2024, but I'll also be sharing my insights on what's driving the market and where we're headed over the next 6 months. While excitement is ramping up in the real estate world as the media is eagerly anticipating the Bank of Canada's October 23rd rate announcement. Will they deliver a full 50-point basis cut? And if so, will that half percentage drop in mortgage rates be enough to jumpstart Canada's real estate market? Let's start with the big picture. The Bank of Canada is tasked with managing inflation by adjusting interest rates. The goal? To keep rates low enough to encourage spending, but not so low that demand skyrockets, pushing up prices and fueling inflation. While mortgage rate news and high home prices usually grab all the headlines, the Bank of Canada does look at a wide range of data when setting bank rates. Things like employment rates, consumer confidence studies, and gross domestic product figures, just to name a few. In recent years, housing prices shot up during the pandemic, partly due to lower borrowing costs. But when the Bank of Canada started increasing those rates to cool the housing market, it wasn't enough to overcome some of the bigger factors like lack of housing supplies and population growth, especially here in Nova Scotia. Let's jump into stats and data for September, but I will share my thoughts on what impact a potential 50-point Bank of Canada rate decrease will have on whether or not it's a good time to jump into the real estate market, or should you wait until 2025. Here's the scoop. New listings across Nova Scotia were up 4.1% from this time last year, with more listings in every region except South Shore and Yarmouth. Month over month, however, we're seeing the usual seasonal decline, with September's numbers tapering off from the peak we had in May. Halifax, Dartmouth, and the Highland region were exceptions, seeing a slight uptick in new listings, which may signal ongoing demand in Halifax due to employment and in the Highland region due to affordability. When it comes to homes sold, sales have slowed down across most regions, which is typical as we move into the fall from the spring peak. However, sales are up when compared to the same time last year in September, though September 2023 was sluggish due to the higher interest rates. The only regions where sales dropped year over year were again South Shore and Yarmouth. But overall, year to date so far, 2024 is going to be a busier year than 2023. Year to date sales across Nova Scotia are at 8,249, representing a 4.7 increase year to date from this time last year. Looking at days on market and months of supply, with fewer sales in September compared to the busy spring months, we're seeing more active listings across the board and an increase on days of market. For instance, Halifax, Dartmouth, median days on market is 11 days, up from 10 days in August. South Shore is creeping up to 45 days, which is a significant jump from 27 days in August. Annapolis Valley, the market is holding steady with an average of 39 days on market, which is a slight uptick from 35 last month. The months of supply is also increasing in 4 out of the 7 regions. Halifax, Dartmouth has 2.8 months of supply, and Cape Breton has 2.7 months of supply, putting them both in the seller's market. The South Shore is at 8.5 months supply, which is up from 7.4 in August. Yarmouth, Highland, and the South Shore are all in a buyer's market with 8.5 months of inventory and above. The Annapolis Valley and the Northern region have 5.8 and 5.2 months of supply, which is a fairly balanced market. This increase in days on market tells us that homes are staying on the market longer, which could lead to price reductions as sellers adjust to market conditions heading into the colder months. For those interested in new construction, there is a healthy amount of inventory with 544 active listings, especially in areas like Bedford West, Timberley, Mount Uniacke, and Beaverbank, because they are all closer to Halifax. Nova Scotia has a median list price of new construction at $618,217. If you can't find one on MLS, head over to some of these developments as they usually have lots available with housing packages to choose from. Or if you found a piece of land you want to build on, contact a contractor ASAP, as the wait times for new construction is around a year. According to CMHC, there were 306 housing starts in Nova Scotia for August, which is ahead of Saskatchewan, but less than New Brunswick's 699. Trading economics reports state that housing starts for Canada as a whole was down 22.3% from August month over month. If you're in the market for a property with at least 10 acres, there are currently 304 listings in Nova Scotia to choose from. The Annapolis Valley, especially around Bridgetown and Berwick, has the most inventory, with Port Hawkesbury close behind. Let's look at what the median home sale prices look like for September 2024 across Nova Scotia. These figures include detached homes and condos and duplexes. Cape Breton median home sale price was $246,250, and that was a decline from last month and a decline of 1.9% from last year. Yarmouth sale prices were at $262,213. That was down from last month, but up 17.2% from last year. The Highland region saw home sale prices of $290,000. That's an increase of $20,000 up from August, but up just 1.2% from 2023. The northern region came in at $304,000, up $15,000 from August, and up a significant 27.7% from last year. This region is particularly popular because of the affordability and close proximity to Halifax and Truro. South Shore homes sold for a median number of 336,500. That's down close to 40,000 from last month and only up slightly 2.7% year over year. Annapolis Valley saw the exact same number in August of 345,000, but that was up 4.5% from this time last year. Halifax Dartmouth median home sale price was $540,000. That was down just $10,000 from last month, but up $55,000 compared to September of last year. Overall, Nova Scotia's median sale price sits at $417,500, down slightly from August, but up 8.1% from last year. But consider the median list price of these active listings for Nova Scotia is $479,900, and the average is $580. And the days on market are 72 median days. That means there's a number of overpriced properties currently on the market. So where are we headed in the coming months? I expect more of the same. Steady, balanced activity with fewer new listings as we move into the colder months. 2024 has already outpaced 2023 year to date, largely due to fewer sales last year and the higher interest rate. I predict we'll see a spike in sales come October and November, which is typical for this time of year as sellers tend to drop their prices to get deals closed before the winter sets in. Expect home prices to dip and thus list to sale ratios to tighten. There may be a few new listings of folks who absolutely have to sell. You know, even with lower interest rates and tweaks to the mortgage rules, it feels like people are holding off of making any big moves. And why that is? I think because they're waiting for some actual change in government policy. Instead of the same old lines, people are asking big questions. Why are taxes so high? Where is all the money going? And why is there so much red tape? I've been saying this for a while, and I recently came across an article by Fred McMahon from the Fraser Institute that really hit home. The core issue, he says, our government is becoming too big and too inefficient. We've been a have-not province for so long, it's actually stifling our ability to grow and function properly. We keep expecting handouts and help from upper levels of government, but we're not holding ourselves accountable. And all this red tape, it feels like it exists just to create more government jobs instead of actually solving problems. So let's talk solutions. How about cutting taxes on new home sales? How about trimming down unnecessary government jobs and programs? Redirect that money into areas that actually matter, like getting more doctors or building housing. I know this has turned into another rant, but here's the thing. Even though real estate is my livelihood, I'll tell you straight up, make a move when it's right for you. The right property will come along when the time is right. And in the meantime, educate yourself. Learn about mortgages, the real estate market, and communities you're interested in. Knowledge is key. And when you're ready, it will open doors. This has been The Real Deal with Dawn.